Bob Riley, HIGHLIFE Magazine, HIGHLIFE Media. Duree Ross, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you went to school, where you live now, and are you a Florida native?
I am a very lucky Florida native. So I was born and raised in Florida. I don't know anything but Florida in terms of being raised as a child. And I grew up on Miami Beach, which is kind of interesting, given just interesting place to grow up as a child. And I graduated from Beach High. So then I went to University of Miami, keeping it still in Miami. Go Canes. And I live now in West Broward, and our office is also in West Broward. And I am a part-time resident in Colorado, so if I'm not enjoying the Sunshine State, I'm out in Colorado enjoying the mountain air.
Nice. And are you a Florida native? I didn't hear you say
I said that.
Oh, okay. So you're a
yes,
Florida
I'm
native
a
too?
Florida native.
Ooh, go Florida. All right. Do you support medical marijuana?
I absolutely support medical marijuana, and I'm just a big advocate of health and wellness and whatever can help an individual. So I'm absolutely a huge supporter.
How about adult use?
Absolutely, I support adult use as well.
Okay. Why did you decide to start working in the cannabis space? Do you have a personal story or a family member or a friend?
So it's a business story, but it's kind of interesting. I had an existing client in the real estate world who came to me and mentioned that he was investing in a CBD company, and this was well before the Farm Bill in 2018. And he said, I need your expertise. Do you know anything about this? And I was very transparent and said, I know about it. I'm a part-time resident of Colorado. I've kind of seen it from that perspective, which has obviously been a little bit more than it has been in Florida. And I said, pretty sure I can figure it out. He said, of course you can. I need you figure this out and let's go. And ever since that point, it has been let's go, full steam ahead. It's been a really fun and crazy and ever-changing and just an experience that in my 20 years of owning the company, I haven't quite experienced anything of that magnitude in terms of just excitement and shifting and just an ongoing change. And I often say that every year in this industry is like dog years, so it's like times 7. And it's what I actually love about it is that who knows in the morning when we wake up and we read all of our required trade kind of coverage and who got an FDA warning letter and what may be going on. So it definitely keeps us on our toes. And that's actually one of the things that I love about it is that it's ever changing. So it really allows us to do some really interesting things for clients and plan some really cool strategies and events and all of that. So it definitely keeps us very busy.
Nice. And so how has working in the cannabis industry changed your perspective on marijuana and or hemp CBD?
So I think a lot of ways. When we first got into it, and even today, especially on the CBD side, people are like, oh, so that gets you high? So I think where we come from is obviously it's an educational situation. We're educating journalists who still don't even understand the difference between the two and the benefits between the two. Obviously we can't make claims, especially on the CBD side, but there is such an educational process that you really don't have to go through in promoting other products because people know what a car is or they know what a telephone is, right? But in this instance, we're really having to start from scratch and have to educate people without making any claims as to what the products are, how you can use them, what they're beneficial for when we can say that. So it's ever changing, and I love the educational aspect of that. It certainly makes for interesting events and planning and strategies to keep educating, and as it continues to change, we keep having to continue that educational process. And in media, in journalism, there are a lot of outlets that just will not cover, will not allow, will not promote. It certainly has gotten better in the last several years, and it certainly varies by state as well too, given what the situation is with that state. But when we first got into it, there were a lot of publishers that were flat out, nope, sorry, we won't cover products like that. I'm talking obviously specifically CBD, but they wouldn't even consider them. And so it's obviously gone a lot more mainstream, but there still is a lot of navigating of who's open to it, who isn't, who's willing to cover, and do they understand the benefits, the properties, that sort of a thing. And so it's an ever-changing opportunity for us to really be out there to promote the industry.
Nice. So the cannabis industry is predominantly dominated by men. How has that affected you and your PR marketing firm being able to get the kind of jobs that you currently have?
Sure. So we've actually been really lucky. The folks that we've worked with have been fantastic. Our clients have been great. So yes, the majority have been male, but there are a lot of contacts within our clients that are female. So the really cool thing about being in PR and marketing is it does skew more female, and just in general as an industry. So we're very lucky that we're used to working with both, and I do think that anytime we're working with a brand and there's a female and a male brain that can look at things differently as it comes to marketing, PR, strategy, what that looks like, and planning. To me, the more heads, the more brains, the better, and the more viewpoints, the better. And when we're talking female, there's a big range. There's working moms, there's non-working moms, there's millennials, there's X, there's Y, there's with the clients that we work with, we really have to get into the mind of who that potential buyer is. And it's usually several different profiles, especially in this space. There are, it's very far and wide in terms of folks who are seeing the benefits of cannabis and CBD. So there are a lot of different profiles that we have to go into, and I definitely think I'm biased, but I think the female mind does a really good job at trying to put themselves into other situations. And as females, many of us have become working moms, and our life has changed, and as your life changes, you have different viewpoints. And so I think bringing those into the work environment and kind of putting yourself into that position, or if I was looking to hit somebody up like me, what does that look like? What would appeal to me and what would not? And sometimes what would not is what you do want to do, because you don't necessarily want that. You don't necessarily want you. And so it really is interesting. It's ever changing with demographics, and certainly this industry as a whole is definitely lacking more research, more intel. The numbers that do come out are fascinating. We always enjoy seeing them, but I know that we're seriously lacking that as marketers, as PR and marketing folks. We like to work on numbers and demos, and it's a little tougher in this industry. Certainly there's been a big growth in it since we got involved, and there's more to go. So we're excited about that. But certainly being a female in this industry, I've never had any issues. I've always worked with great people. The clients that we work with, we're an extension of them. So we have to be similar in terms of compatible. And so for us, it really works because we've dated, and so we're kind of in that marriage perspective, and therefore it works. So I do think there's huge opportunity for females here. I'm happy to support it and to continue to grow this whole industry.
Well, thank you very much. As a Florida woman in cannabis, what do you believe needs to happen or change to help mainstream the cannabis message?
Well, there's a lot that needs to change. I keep going back to education, because I think that's really where it starts. And after that, and after you educate people, that's to me where change can happen. So I still think educating differently, though. You can't educate the same way to all people, because the same message doesn't work. What works for me isn't going to work for you. And so that's such an important part of what we focus on, is what does that educational component look like, and how do we keep evolving that based on the demo and based on the client. And no two clients are alike, thank goodness. So we're very custom in our approach to the way our clients are going. And there is a lot of shifting in this industry, probably more shifting than in others. Very much a startup mentality back in the day of the .com, very startup mentality, very quick, lots of things shifting, changing. And so I think being a part of that, no matter what kind of component you're in this industry, whether it's marketing or it's in-house and a grower, there's still a tremendous amount of shifting and changing and pivoting and morphing. And so I think that's something that is so critical within this space, even as it comes to education and marketing messages, it's constantly shifting, and that's actually one of the things I just love about it.
Yeah, a lot of people say we got to also address the stigma.
There still is. I'll be very honest with you. When we started working in this field, I was afraid to share it. I was afraid to, and that was even with CBD. I was afraid that because people weren't educated, and by no fault of their own, it's just they didn't know. And several people, when I verbally told them that we were in the in the cannabis and CBD hemp space, they were like, "Oh, so it gets you high?" Specifically on hemp and CBD, and no, and then try to educate them. But luckily, we didn't have anybody, thank gosh, that was negative or unhappy. In fact, it was quite the opposite. It was, tell me about it. How is it? I'm fascinated. I want to learn more. How does it work? I've always thought about it. Where do I start? And so it's always been a great conversation piece. But in the very beginning, I was nervous. In 2018, once the Farm Bill came out, and in most instances, hemp was considered federally legal, that made me feel a little bit better, so that if I needed to have a conversation with somebody on the hemp side, I could say, well, it is federally legal, and I felt okay with that. And kind of after that point, I felt more comfortable, and certainly now we totally own it. We have a second version of our logo that we created in the accent in Duree. We changed that into a blinking leaf. So we've totally embraced it. It's been so professionally rewarding, the people that I've met, and just expanding of thoughts and just perspectives. It's been really, really rewarding for me and for my team. We've really enjoyed it. We've stretched ourselves. We've had to navigate some interesting questions from journalists and navigate some interesting situations, but definitely kept us on our toes, and it continues to evolve. So I don't see that changing, and I'm glad, because that's what keeps me going.
Thank you.
Sure.
Women tend to make most of the healthcare decisions in the home, yet we keep marketing to men. I call it the manibus syndrome. In your opinion, what does the cannabis industry need to do to better market cannabis to women?
Well, I definitely think more women need a place at the table, at the marketing perspective, whatever that looks like. Also in the research and development aspect of the product and what's being developed, because if you don't have the right product developed to appeal to a woman, then you're not going to market to them. So I actually think it starts with product development and research and development, and then obviously marketing, and having the right product, then you can market it. So certainly more women around the table are involved in those aspects. And I think also part of that educational piece, again, coming from a female, it's different, and a wife or a significant other going to their significant other or husband or wife, whatever it may be, saying, hey, this might be good for you, is very different than, or maybe it's a combination of things, right? And, I know how it works in my house, and I definitely lead the charge, and they're easier conversations to have. Or it may say, oh, I've been looking at that. That's really interesting you bring that up. And so women have a great opportunity to continue to educate, continue to be an advocate for the whole industry, and help uplift and literally grow the industry. So I think we have a great opportunity here. I haven't ever felt that my opinions were disregarded or anything like that. In fact, quite the opposite. So, but I would like to see more women in-house in the companies, in the marketing, in the all of that. Many do exist, but I think there's an opportunity for even more, and again, on that research and development, because I think that's really where it starts.
Yeah, you also launched recently a website for cannabis too. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was part of our flashing logo. I had this epiphany. I was like, wouldn't that be fun? And I'm such a particular brand person that you normally never touch your logo, but we thought that was kind of fun, and that is on our logo. And on our website, obviously. So we were very busy in this space. I really couldn't have imagined that we would be this busy, and we are very lucky. We're involved in a lot of trade organizations. I'm involved in speaking. Thanks for this opportunity as well to help educate too. But it's just been like fast forward, and it's been great. And so I haven't had any issues. In fact, I think there's tremendous opportunities for us. So it's kind of forced me out of the comfort zone, because I'm the person who wants my clients in front of the camera and not myself, right? That's my job. And so, but I realize that for the greater good, that we all need to kind of step up to help lift up. And so I've done quite a number of speaking opportunities within this space, and you know, I continue to enjoy it, and it evolves just like the whole industry continues to evolve.
And I also heard that Duree Company has been listed as like the top 100 of something. Could you tell us a little bit about that too?
Well, thank you. We're really thankful. Just recently, PR News, which is like the trade, you know, journal, the trade pub that is most prominent, did select Duree Company as a PR agency elite. There were 100 total, so there were 99 others around the U.S. for our work, and it was in regards to our corporate social responsibility efforts, our cannabis work. So we're really proud and excited. It's a biggie, so we're quite thankful, and just means we have to continue to make it all happen.
Well, let us congratulate you on that achievement as well. And so I wanted to thank you for the time you took out of your day to interview with us.
Thank you so much, and thanks for what you're doing to elevate, educate, be an advocate, and so we appreciate you, truly. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Bob Riley, HIGHLIFE Magazine, HIGHLIFE Studio.